there. I figured I could play Aardvark on the C16 and check out how that plays. Well, it turns out to be an incredibly difficult game where the joystick that I have for the C16, which is a proprietary Commodore C16 Commodore joystick with a membrane, really isn't up to the task. So you see me trying to play this game and pretty much failing at it. I'm not sure what Microsoft actually was thinking when it designed the C16. It came out after the Commodore 64 came out, probably as a more cost-effective, or what is it? Cost-effective, less expensive option for people who wanted to buy into the Commodore home computer market. The thing is that the C16 Plus4 systems, they had more colors, way more colors than the C64, but they didn't have any sprites. So all they could do basically was use altered character sets, pretty much like the VIC-20 has no sprites as well. So it's actually like a super VIC-20 on steroids with 16 or 64K of RAM. The computer was quite popular in Eastern Europe, and it had a following over here in the Netherlands as well. And actually back in the day, one of my neighbors in the little street, in the little terrace houses that we were living in, he actually bought a C16 because he had seen the Commodore 64 at our place, and it was cheap and it looked very similar. I mean, the case actually looks incredibly similar. I'll show you. I mean, look at that. That's just basically a black Commodore 64 with gray keys. And of course, it didn't run any of the software. It wouldn't load any of the tapes. He did have a 1551 disk drive with it, which was a lot faster than the 1541 that I had, which connected up to a serial port with a little DIN plug. And his actually slotted into the cartridge port of the C16. And it actually loaded in stuff quite a bit faster. So he was quite devastated that he couldn't actually exchange the games, and discs would load because the disk format of the C16 is actually the same as that of the 1541. And you could load in files, but BASIC is encoded differently on the C64 and the C16. So basically it's like a computer without any compatibility software-wise. I mean, you could actually program the C16 in BASIC V2, just not use any of the additional commands, but it sort of defeats the purpose. However, the C16, if you were into basic programming, and I was, and the neighbor was sort of as well, things like database software, printing software, programmed in BASIC actually ran faster on the C16 than it would on the C64, because the C16 actually had a faster processor, different processor from the C64. But yeah, so as a gaming machine, I mean, there are quite a few tape games out on the C16, the Plus4. The thing is, as the C16 was the lowest common denominator, most of the software actually caters to the C16 and not use above 16K of memory. So yeah, basically, even if you had a Plus4, most of the games would actually be Plus4. Most of the games would actually be C16 games. I'm a bit tired, so you know. Anyways, let's check out how I play Aardvark. Well, I sort of hinted at it that I'm not very good at it, and you really can't really play this very well with the standard joysticks. And I'm not sure if I was able to play it with keys, but I never played on a Commodore 64 or C16 with keys. The only system that I do play with keys are the MSX and the Spectrum. And the rest of the systems I always use joysticks. Well, the PC, I was playing with a keyboard and a mouse for the longest time because analog joysticks would always drift and always be, uncalibrated. The moment when digital gamepads came out for the PC, I hopped on board because, I like being able to play games with controllers. Anyways, enough of a waffle. Let's check out the gameplay. My atrocious gameplay. It will be very easy to, improve my high score, or it might actually not.